Yeah, so here's the thing. So every time that I've gotten sushi with Mike Deacon, first of all, not sober. Not sober anytime I've gotten sushi with Mike Deacon. It's never happened, probably never will. But every time I've gotten sushi with Mike Deacon, I've thought to myself, after he orders sake, I'm like, ooh, I like sake. He likes sake. Let's have a bonding experience. Let's both drink sake. Every time, guys, I have realized I don't like sake. Right?
Sake,
And
only violet
then
sake.
and then I don't remember the next day.
Uh-huh.
And then the next time happens, and it's like, oh, I'm with Mike Deacon. I should get sake. Guys, I like soju.
Oh. I like Bellinis.
Yeah. I like... See this? Straight out the bottle?
Straight out the bottle.
Delicious.
And this is how AJ got kicked out of a nice family Japanese restaurant.
Yes.
Ta-da! Old intro, throwing it back. That was a good one, though, Juice.
Like,
that was good.
I like the video file says what the show intro first cut, meaning I never I was like, yeah, that's fine enough. It never went had full intention of adding stuff, and then it's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no. But that second one, you added things.
AJ, that is what I thought, because I wasn't sure what soju was exactly, but I did have that thought. I was like, oh yeah, AJ always orders sake and then is like, I don't like it. Oh yeah, so I do remember that bit.
Sake is,
and I agree with you. Every time I try it, I'm like, I'm gonna like it. It's
nasty. Now if you get cold flavored sake, it can be good. Violet sake at Epcot's Japan Pavilion is good.
Now, have you guys had soju though? Okay.
I have.
Bethany, you're gonna be a big soju fan.
Okay, yeah, 100%. I believe you.
This is I'm talking like Arbor Mist level of sweetness.
Slay. I'm in it.
12% alcohol by volume.
Ooh, okay, yeah, slay. Arbor Mist, $12, $5. I'm sold. Yeah, that sounds 1,000% up my alley. You are correct. Now he's hot. He put on his flannel because he was sneezing, and now he's warm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It works.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night.
Yes.
My name is AJ Lancaster, and I'm one of the co-hosts.
Hey, we're the Deacons. With us tonight, as always, is our boy Randy.
I am Randy.
Hi, Randy. How you doing tonight?
Randy Fargus.
Randy Fargus.
Oh, Randall.
I already had my first drink pretty quickly, so I'm about to have my bartender whip me up a Dirty Shirley.
Thanks to AJ having an obscure thing, I figured this was a good night to buy the cherry-flavored Evan Williams that I accidentally bought instead of regular Evan Williams. Yeah. And so I've doused it in orange and bitters to try and make it. And it still tastes just only like cherry. Yeah, but at least I think the bitters help at least tone it down. So
we'll take that.
I was going to say you should probably just mix it with Coke, because it would just taste like a bourbon cherry Coke.
That's true. Yeah, I don't have any. I should have thought of that. That would have been a...
Yeah, that'll be...
I don't mind Red Stag as an occasional shooter, but I don't know what it would mix super well with.
Right.
Man, when Red Stag came out, my buddies and I, that was one of those ones like, there's no alcohol in this. And we were just, pounding it.
Isn't Red Stag still whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's alcohol in that.
Well, I mean,
nothing that you put in whiskey, just like tequila, in my humble opinion, makes it not taste like tequila or whiskey.
green tea shots you could take.
Okay, yeah, I could probably do. I can do a green tea shot. That's fair. But that's about it.
That's like the night before, 2 nights before Kyle. No, the night before Kyle's wedding.
I was going to say the night before.
The night before my buddy Kyle's wedding, we go to this bar and it's about to shut down. And I tried to order some Jaeger bombs, and they don't have Jaeger or Red Bull. And I'm like, they're like, we can make green tea shots. I'm like, sure, fine. And nobody there knew what it was, so it turned into a domino effect, where all of a sudden, like, I ordered one for him and I. The guy behind us sees it, orders us around. Then somebody else sees that happen. Within about 45 minutes, we probably had like 5 or 6 green tea shots each, and they're like, "There's no alcohol in this." And then at the end of the night, Kyle out.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, that might have been maybe just.
There was only alcohol in that.
Yeah, the green. Yeah, green.
As it turns out,
I do love. We actually at the restaurant I now work, we actually did like a green tea because we have some like peach schnapps that we're trying to get rid of. So we did like a whole green tea, just made it as a normal drink basically as a special, and they are very tasty. That's a sip. That'd be kind of the thing, like AJ, when you got off the plane, you're like, I need something refreshing. Let's order an Aperol Spritz, and that would be my. I would totally
do a little green tea cocktail. I like it.
Green tea, but I kept
martini right about now.
when I worked at the higher end bar, I always have people asking. I'd have a lot of people ask for green tea shots, and I'm like, guys, I don't I don't have this stuff in this place. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have sour. I have to just do like Jameson, like a nicer peach liqueur. I don't even remember what else. Lemon juice, maybe, or something. Yeah, but
something like that. Very fancy. But my bartender is whipping me up my new drink already. Look at him. He's well trained.
So Irish whiskey, peach schnapps, sour mix, and Sprite.
Yeah, it's Sprite. Yeah.
It's right.
So that's I guess. Yeah. I was able to do them, but like not the exact. Yeah.
To the exact.
Because I didn't have sour.
The exact specifications for enjoying a green tea shot is in like a college town dive bar on ladies' night when it's like, the cheapest like whiskey that they have in their venue. That is exactly the right specifications you need to enjoy a green tea shot.
It might not be real Irish whiskey at that point. It might be like Canada Club.
Yeah, it's probably 1,000% a Canada Club.
Yeah,
Pizza Ranch, baby.
I uploaded 3 different Pizza Ranch.
We just got a little
test. Yeah, you put it on a slideshow, just like my slideshow that runs on my computer all of the time.
Right,
and I just get fun memories popping up.
Yes.
All throughout the day. So good.
Yes.
Good transition there. Speaking of fun memories, I had a really big laugh. I was actually at work when this happened last night. You're all we have our fantasy football league, and there's a big group chat for it that pretty much everybody is in. And at one point, John Mariano, who's a friend of ours, he's been working on a series of like essays about the history of Schmodown from different perspectives. It's actually a really interesting read if you go click on his Twitter.
Very, very good work, John.
Blue Sky or anything like that.
Bordy Bard Ken, as he's known on the streets.
It's a really, really interesting read, but he got to one that was about the fan community. And he was mentioning people that he's gotten to know. And he mentioned a lot of people. He mentioned all of us by name. And he got to one person in our fantasy football league. He's like, I genuinely don't know who this person is. And he's like, I don't know. Maybe should I put them in there? They're in this league. I really don't know who they are. And he's like, I pulled up their Facebook profile and I couldn't tell who it was. Well, it's Benny, a.k.a. Brother Lomas.
This is how Mariano figured out.
John Mariano has been in this chat with Benny for months now.
No idea who he was.
Has no idea that it's Brother Lomas.
Listen, though, that is the Schmodown experience. You are in so many group chats. To this day, I'm in numerous group chats. And every once in a while, you'll get a name and you're like, do I know this person? Everyone else seems to know this person. I feel like I should know this person. And you just kind of fake it till you make it. You know what I mean?
There were two people in the old Gucciverse chat back in the day. I never distinguished until it was like the first. I think it was the first football season after that Patreon started, and they were fans of different teams. And I was like, okay, I have a thing now. I know who they are.
Now I can tell you who they are.
Yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, because there were some people in the Gucciverse chat that would put things in the chat that were never once in like a Zoom call or anything. Like there was those of us that always saw each other.
Yeah.
And then there would just be people that would occasionally chat, but never make an appearance.
Guys, soju is so good.
Juice, the other day I watched this video and it was this British guy talking about like American expressions that confuse him as a British person. And someone in the comments was like, just wait till you go to the Midwest. And everyone's like, no, yeah, no to everything. And I was like, Juice. And it was my favorite. And I thought of you. And it just, you did a no, yeah there for it. And I was like, oh, I have to tell him this one thing about it.
Literally the most recent message in the Gucciverse chat from him is,
he hit us.
No, yeah. I was thinking I'll throw a little bitters and whatnot.
Yeah, in our chat. Yeah. That's no. I didn't remember that. I said no.
Literally, I said it on Bethany. You just got this with the no, yeah.
I was like, oh, no, yeah. Okay, Juice. We have some questions. One. The first question. Did you recently visit a landfill?
A landfill? No.
A landfill, no. Okay. Second question. I'm really excited to hear about our dear friend Juice, our dear young friend, who didn't know how to mail things. Okay. First of all, we're gonna break this down, everyone. We're gonna break this down. So Juice. Okay, I want to say Monday I was having an absolutely gnarly bad day, like gnarly bad, and I'm multiple mentee B's. Okay, I came home to Mike, literally mascara smeared all over my face, and I'm like sweating. I am so upset. Like when you get so upset, you're like hot. So like I see him, and I'm like, I have a phone call to make, and I have to strip down out of these clothes, and then I will talk to you. And he's like, okay. Anyways, terrible day. So, anywho, my sister has sent me a birthday gift. So I was like, it'll maybe make me feel a little bit better is like getting a happy surprise in the mail. So I'm going to go check the mail. I see a package and I'm like, this must be my birthday gift for my sister. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is not my birthday gift for my sister. I look at it and I go, Jeff Alterman. And I don't even look at the return address at first. Mike was on a walk with me. And he's like, it's from Wisconsin. And I go, oh, yeah. And I not like I've seen Juice's handwriting a lot, but I have seen it. And I was like, oh, yeah, this looks more like Juice's handwriting than Jeff's. Not like have I ever seen Jeff write anything? I have no idea.
Yeah, you can picture what his handwriting is.
Yeah, but you could just, Jeff would have a certain kind of pretentious handwriting.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I was like, oh, yeah, this is from Wisconsin. Okay. So anywho, it's just a big old. Can you get the manila envelope actually, so we can show everyone?
There's layers to this.
There's layers. Well, it's a big old manila envelope, but I can feel there's a little block in it, like a block feeling thing. Like it's not taking up the full package. So literally, this manila envelope, the mailman had to or mail lady, we don't know.
Had to cram.
So this is this big old.
It's 12 by 15 and a half, by the way.
Look at this.
It is 12 by 15 and a half.
So this is what it is, and it's folded in, and I'm feeling it, and right in here is where clearly something is, and so I'm like, I am so intrigued by this. Then I rip it open. I can't even it has a proper close, but it was taped obviously because mail. And I was so excited to see what this could possibly. I rip it open. The first thing I see, it's because again, it's in the mail envelope. I just see a little bit of the map sticking out, and I'm like, oh hells yeah, the map has been run into it. So this is my birthday card. It's the map. We love the map. Fantastic, 10 out of 10. And then 10 out of 10. It is E.T. Atari, which is fantastic. It is really great. It's really folksy. But anyways, it's fantastic. I am an E.T. collector, so this is going to go on my E.T. shelf for sure. This brought joy to my heart. But truly, Juice, may I first and foremost say, absolute A+ work. Made my day. I was having
I'm glad.
terrible day. And that really made it good. But then so now Mike's like, take pictures of the envelope, like take pictures of whatever. So I'm like messaging in the group chat. And Juice says, yeah, I had to ask AJ how to mail things. And I need to know this conversation.
Yep. So,
God,
no further spoilers. So, he just took a picture of the ET Atari game. He's like, I found something to send them. He's like, wait, Bethany's birthday is in 11 days. And
yeah, so the quick context for that, I'll quick step back and just explain what led to it. So I was gonna when it was Mike's birthday and AJ sent all those DVDs.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'll send him something too, but I never ended up actually
because you didn't know how to mail
the send, and I didn't know how to mail anyway. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, it's a great idea, but like, I don't know. So then all of a sudden I go to a retro video game store and I'm just looking through random stuff, got over to, and I just noticed ET, like Atari ET. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, it's only like a couple bucks or whatever. I'm like,
right.
It'd be so funny to just send this to Bethany. And I'm like, why not? I'm like, I feel like her birthday is probably like soon. Because I think I remember it was April. And then it was in 11 days, so that was like right at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And then so that's where the idea came from. And then AJ can read.
So I didn't have to walk him through step by step, by the way. He just said, also, I can't believe I'm 28 years old and I just Googled how do I send a package. First of all, honestly, if I'd been drinking a beverage, it would have come out the nose. Second of all, I might not know if I didn't have to do it for work either. So
it's a lost art in a sense, you know what I mean?
Do I have to put that it's for me? I want to put a note for me in the package, but I don't want them to know it's me when I'm opening. Walking through is like, you don't have to put a return address for USPS. Just allows them to return it if it's unavailable. FedEx allows for anonymous flat rate boxes and envelopes too. Don't ask me how I know. I editorialized that last part.
Yeah.
Then the next day, okay, hear me out. By the way, this is the next day at 10:13 p.m. Do I put in the package to Bethany the return address named Jake Yacovetta and write her a note within the envelope entitled, "Hey, Bethany"? Or is that too far? I said, oh, I love that. It's go picture from Maine. 1 week later, he shows me the card and the game, and he's on his way to mail it. And told me he aced it. Confirms the address, and then he shows me the envelope with Jeff's name on it, which is great.
Yeah.
So I have a question, like the envelope. Why was the envelope so big?
Okay. All right.
Fine. Well, he wanted to make sure it fit the map. He didn't want the map to get destroyed.
Yeah. So, right. The only thing I can picture is like, okay, sending a package. I mail. Like, I know how to mail a letter.
Right.
I have a lot of stamps. Like, I know, like that's fine. But like, it's the whole like, because I can't just go there and drop it in the thing. So I'm like, what stamp do I need? What kind of package? Where do I write the thing? Like, I just don't know any of that.
That part, to be honest,
I didn't realize like, and so I'm like, okay, well, I need like, because I'm not gonna put it in a box,
right?
Because that's too much.
It'll cost
I'm like,
yeah.
It wouldn't fit in a regular envelope.
Right.
So I'm at the office at church, and I'm like asking. I'm like not saying what it's for. I'm just like, does anyone have any manila envelopes? Like, and I'm like, go on his hunt because it's the only thing I can think of to send that in. And then I go back into my office, and I have this very like messy corner, or I just basically all the stuff that was from the previous person is still there, unorganized. And so I'm like, maybe there's something up here, and I find one like way at the top, this manila envelope, and I grab it. I'm like, perfect.
This is the one.
And then
You would be amazed at how many times, because Mike has sold some things on like eBay and stuff, the weird boxes we have had to go try and find
for shapes, because
he had the wrestling ring, like the WWE wrestling ring, and he sold that on eBay, and it's a weird ass shaped box.
I had to buy a TV
box to get this, because like a normal square box, like a normal package box, we're like, no, it's not that. It's not that.
That was the hardest one to find.
And so finally, we're like, well, flat screen TV, like it.
the box cost almost as much as like. I mean, it sold for a good amount of money because it was retro.
Crazy.
But like between the actual shipping cost and the box to ship it in, it cost me like $35 to ship that thing.
Because we like live right behind a Staples, and usually you can get like
Staples
most packages at Staples. He goes there and he's like, no. So yeah, then we're like at Lowe's and Home Depot.
Home Depot's where I found it.
Trying to find a box to ship this stupid wrestling. It's not stupid, but this like retro wrestling
that
ring
thing sold for
thing.
like $200, so it was worth.
It's like a weird, rare find, but like collectors were very happy to find it.
And then the thing with that one too was I had twice. Like I was periodically as we were moving, and then here and there while we've been here, just selling things off, just as a little side hustle. And
because he has an insane amount of things.
One of the two things I said,
wrestling things, that is,
outright got lost in the mail, and I had to go through the eBay and the USPS for like the insurance, which eBay does insure up to a certain point. So like I had to refund the customer, and then the post office had to refund me. It was stupid, but at the same time, they lost this one. I'm like, oh crap, because the insurance only covers, if I'm not mistaken, $125. So I would have had to refund the customer what they paid me and only get that much back, and it would have been a loss. Thankfully, because it was such a big package and it was so descriptive, I'm like, it's in a Home Depot. I was able to describe this box.
It's a TV box.
Yeah, it is in a Home Depot TV box. It was shipped on this. They were able to find it, but still, ridiculous.
Guys, proceed, but I need to be right back. I just remembered something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we got burgered.
We've been burgered.
We got burgered. Wait.
We've been burgered. But yeah, it's an interesting journey.
Nope, that's not the right button.
Oh, hi.
Where? Oh, there it is. Okay.
We've been double burgered.
Double burger.
Double burger.
So Bethany was doing so again, the same day that she got the package, having a bad day, and I had mentioned this to her. I'm like, I actually had never seen a certain movie, which we'll bring up in a second. And I was like, I kind of want to watch it. I've never seen it, and it's for a reason, because its live action remake is coming out this summer, and that of course being How to Train Your Dragon. I've actually have never watched How to Train Your Dragon.
And isn't it so delightful? The score is amazing. It'll bring you to tears.
I've seen the first one once, like probably a little after it came out.
It's so good.
Or maybe 10 years ago.
So circling back, obviously right now Universal is in the process. They're about to officially open their new park, Epic Universe, and the employees, many of whom we are friends with, have had basically the last couple of weeks that they've been allowed access to go see everything as previews, because they're never going to get in once it's open. So
right.
A lot of people are like, there's a meet and greet with Toothless that is pretty astonishing. You get to go meet the dragon, and you have to like earn its trust and all that. So I've never seen the movie, so none of this makes sense to me. So I finally went ahead and watched it the other night, and I see William also has never seen. It's a delightful movie.
You should really see How to Train Your Dragon. It's so good.
It's a delightful movie. I look forward to watching the two sequels. I'm a little bit skeptical after watching the cartoon. I'm like, there's a lot in this like upcoming live, quote unquote, live action. It's got to be easily, a hybrid. It's going to be more live action than the Lion King, but there is a lot in that movie that cannot be done.
Obviously, it's going to be a lot of CGI. I mean, also, I guess you could say that about like The Hobbit and stuff. Like, there's,
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. I didn't realize the live action was coming out.
Yeah, this summer.
It's
Big deal.
so this is also a good transition. Next week we are drawing the movies for the fantasy football draft.
Right.
And it's an
Oh, boy.
option
And that is
you
one of them.
forget.
Okay.
The score is so good. That's my one thing is I'm like, don't touch the score because the score of How to Train Your Dragon is so good. Like, just do the same score in the.
Who did the score? I don't.
Is that a Batman mug?
This is the McDonald's promotional Batman mug
Yes.
that I purchased
Oh my god, that's
25
so
minutes after Deadline reported that Val Kilmer had passed away
I remember
for
you said you-
$25.
My
Yeah.
mind just went like 5 different directions. I did it.
I had one of these as a child.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And for one time, and one time only,
Oh, nice.
good.
do you know why I'm only drinking it this one time?
Because you don't have to hand wash
Lead
it all
poisoning.
the time.
Mike's right.
So it really has lead poisoning in it.
They were recalled.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I would only drink out of it the one time. AJ, have you seen How to Train Your Dragon? I've seen the AJ movie.
One time, and it was a very impactful watch for me.
Yes,
It's
so
one of
good.
those. It's one of those really formative movies. Like it just kind of like lasered, and I just haven't been able to revisit the memory because like it was when I was dating somebody, and like it was early on in the relationship. It was the first time that like we were watching a movie at her house. And we got awesome Japanese takeout, and we're like chilling on the couch, and like it was a great evening, and it was one of those times where I was just like zoned into the movie.
Will you be partaking in the live action this summer?
I
Depends on who
don't know.
gets it in the fantasy draft.
I don't. I'm not as excited as I should be. I just. It feels emotionally flat to me from the trailers, but it could come out and be amazing. So,
all right. So first, before I jump into the next thing, apparently from CinemaCon and from early test screenings, it's tested extremely high. Now you can't trust CinemaCon after The Flash, but still, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just list the 16 movies that are gonna be assigned.
Release the Wicked trailer, CinemaCon. I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding.
So these are the 16 movies that will be assigned next week.
Okay, and we have to make our lists ahead of time, right?
Yeah, your top 10 predictions.
Yeah.
Remember to
for next week, and we have a couple of guests lined up. I know 100% certain Moose Haas is coming on next week. I believe Jacob and Taylor Blunden are both coming on. We might have some more people in addition to that. So it's going to be a fun stream. These are the 16 movies that we're going to assign. One of them has already been assigned. That is Lilo and Stitch went to Jerry because I won our Royal Rumble contest we did, and I assigned that to him so I could make sure I didn't get it.
To a Packers fan.
Yeah.
The disrespect. I'm just kidding. I love you, Jerry.
Okay. The other movies are going to be Jurassic World, Rebirth, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, First Steps, Mithrigan 2.0, Superman.
Summer is so hard to tell.
How to Train Your Dragon, Elio, F1, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, Smurfs, Final Destination: Bloodlines, Karate Kid Legends, 28 Years Later, Ballerina, and The Naked Gun.
Everyone will get bonus points on their list if they can guess how many of those movies will make AJ and I cry this summer. You will get bonus points. So if you get closest to your top 10 being right and also a cry count.
I think if I see 10 of them, it's going to be 8.
8 of them you think will make you cry? Yeah.
I got 4 for Bethany.
You got 4 for me? I'd like to know which 4 you think. I want to see if we...
All right, Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Elio.
Yeah, that's going to be one. Mm-hmm.
And Karate Kid Legends.
Yeah, that'll probably make me cry. Yeah. Okay, those are fair. Let me see the list again. I think that's probably about right. I think it probably is about 4 for me, but one of these might surprise me.
So give me those 4, add Superman, add Fantastic Four,
Okay.
add F1.
Final Destination.
No.
Bloodlines, man. It's going to get me. It's getting Naked Gun will make you cry. Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, the last one's a wild card. I just had to account for it.
By the way, normally we put all movies that came out prior to the end of July. We allowed Naked Gun in after we saw the trailer, and pretty much everybody loved it. We're like, all right, we'll make an exception for that one because somebody's going to be rooting for it, and I think a lot of us in the chat, in our fantasy football chat, will go see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like that was appropriate to add that one.
Yeah.
And we took
28 years. 28 years later is going to do it.
You think that's going to be the
might, like storyline wise, I could see that.
Do y'all want to know what you shouldn't do on a week that you're already emotionally compromised? Watch the season 2 premiere of The Last of Us, because you're like, I'm really excited to watch The Last of Us, and I know it's going to be depressing, but no, that was not a good idea on my part. Am I going to continue watching it even though I know it's going to depress me? Yeah. But...
yeah. There's stuff coming up that was in the plotline of the game that
I'm gonna be it's just gonna be depressing. I also want everyone to know that Mike and I were taking bets on which one of my nieces or nephews was gonna notice my tattoo first. Mike had $5 on my youngest niece, and I gotta be honest with him, I was with him. I thought it was gonna be her too. But my sister, I also didn't tell because I also just wanted to see if she noticed. The bet got thrown off the table. And off the table because she noticed, and then she said something, and I was like, "Dang it, I should have told her." So that way, one of the kids could have noticed. So that was on me. That was on me for messing that up. But yeah, she was like, "Is that a real tattoo on your leg?" And I was like, "Sure is." And then I was like, "Dang it, throw the kitchen there." And they're like, "And B tattoo, you got a tattoo." And then I go into the spring game, okay, and I'm just trying to watch these football players scrimmage and see what our chances are next year. And then we're going to be celebrating the basketball team. And my niece is like poking it.
Oh, no.
Tattoo. Ow, could you please stop?
It's what, like 6 days old?
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's still
You were just taking the second skin off?
Yeah, I had just taken the second skin off. So like Friday morning, I take the second skin off. Saturday morning, I see them. And yeah, that afternoon. And then one of them is like sitting on my lap and like digging her feet into my ankles. And I'm like, okay, we are going to sit on our own behind. We're going to sit over there now. Thank you so much for playing along. But yeah, sitting next to your two nieces who are bored out of their minds because watching football player scrimmage is not really their thing. Not at this age anyways. Give them a couple years. They might get more into it. But they're there for the snacks, let's be honest, of which they did not get any because we were going to go to lunch right after. And so my sister's like, we're going to go to lunch real soon.
Oh, no.
And then they were like, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, ladies, let's zip it. We're locking in. We're watching this national championship celebration. And then we'll roll out to lunch.
I have a pretty funny story about something similar to that. Last year, I went with my father, my two nephews, and one of my nephews' friend, because my sister was actually sick and they needed to get somebody else, to the Royal Rumble. And Jeff Alterman was there, and I knew he was there. And two of us actually, it was like Juice and Jeff trying to find each other at the Cinnabon. We're trying to figure out where each other is, and he's inside the arena. I'm like, I'm outside at section 130, we'll say. He's like, yeah, I'm at 130. I'm like, are you outside the concourse? No, man, I'm just wandering up and down the steps. I'm like, God, come outside, you idiot. But anyway, we're going back and forth. And so Jeff and I, of course, we go to the bar. And I go back out after one of the matches, and I come back, and one kid's like, oh, what'd you get? The kid, not my nephew, but the kid's like, oh, you went to concession and you didn't get me anything. And I'm just standing there, and I have a Jack and Coke, like a tall cup and everything. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I had to go get this. I had to show this. You went and got a soda and you didn't tell me. I'm like, okay.
You're like, cool
about that.
And then you just you don't want to feel bad, so you just give the kid the booze.
And then before you know it, you're sharing your Jack and Coke with a child.
But I was going to ask AJ, so have you ever had I know you have tattoos. Have you ever had second skin used for healing?
No.
Yeah, so this is like I've only had in the past year and a half of the ones I've gotten. It's a game changer, like in terms of how it heals things. Because you keep it on for like 5 days, and the healing process, when you take that off, the whole point of having to put like either A&D ointment or Aquaphor or all of that on it, no longer a thing. All you have to do is moisturize it. And the amount of like peeling and flaking is so minimal compared to what it was in the past.
Yeah.
It's
pretty. This is our ad.
If that existed back then my mom would have never known I got tattoos.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, there he is again.
So I got my first tattoo the summer after my senior year of high school, right? Pretty standard.
Mine too. Yeah.
And she kept on finding the unscented soap in the shower. Kept on forgetting to take it out.
Yeah, good old antibacterial soap. Yeah, you don't have to do that now.
You do that once.
You cover it. Yeah, once you like take it off, you could wash it off. But yeah, you cover this bad bitch for 5 days, and
the ones we got recently have been quote unquote apprentice tattoos and worth every penny, and more. Well, worth way more than every penny.
It gets great though.
Yeah,
because she confronts me about it about a week in. And says, like, did you read something on the internet that like this would like slow down hair loss?
Debbie, you lived. What a sick burn, Debbie. I love that. Yeah, she's like, what's the situation with the unscented antibacterial soap? And you're like, just wanted to try a new soap, Deb. Don't.
And when you mentioned second skin too, I thought it was like, you know, when you have that peel and it's like the full color peel of your tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, it's legit. That 100% was a thing. Almost every one I had at some point or another, because basically you take the saran wrap off and it's just gonna flake.
Hey, Mike. If Poochie's not on your leg, everybody should be asking, where's Poochie?
You watched the episode finally.
I finally saw the Poochie episode. So now when he gets the tattoo, I'll get the reference. I was telling that was a conversation at tailgate. Yes, we tailgated for a scrimmage. Just want to throw that out. This was a scrimmage.
Absolutely.
But that is how, I don't know, ate up with Florida sports we are. But anywho, my dad woke up literally at like the crack of dawn for a scrimmage. And I was like, do you realize what we're doing? Like, let's actually think about this rationally. Anyhow, so we were talking about my tattoo at tailgate. And then I was telling them about how Mike had the Simpsons leg. And I was like, but what I need you all to understand is it's not like a normal Simpsons leg. Okay, you don't have your classic characters. And I was like, no, my husband has like a self-imposed rule that whatever he gets, the reference has to be like in one episode for 30 seconds. Poochie might be the most airtime of your entire life, honestly.
Kodos is on multiple episodes.
Okay, Kodos is, yes.
And that was the first one I ever got. And I got that during a State of the Union address because I didn't want to watch it. And you
could have just done something else. And he was like, "No, I'm gonna go get a Simpsons."
But I will. To just backtrack for a second, I went to the tattoo parlor that day, like earlier in the day, and the artist was so excited that I brought that. Like he's like, "I haven't had something that fun come into the shop in a while."
Nice.
Yeah, he gave it to me for a really good price. And Kodos is a phenomenal tattoo. He spent a good 2.5 hours on Kodos. And he was so enthusiastic about doing it that I had actually moved to Florida and I went back to Virginia for a wedding about a year later that I went out on my way to go back to him to do my next one. And
nice.
He gave me that one for an even better deal because I came back to him.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
And I will say that Kevin was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, people are really obsessed with this. And the amount of compliments that you get on it, like we will get stopped in the airport or in the grocery store or
at Universal.
Whatever. And people are like, oh, let me see your Simpsons tattoos. So I will say it's a very good conversation starter.
Nice.
Also on the My Weekend review here, we're on that portion of the stream apparently. On Friday night, so for Christmas, I told my dad, because my dad and I, when I lived back home, we used to go to baseball games, Florida Gator baseball games together all the time. I love baseball, America's pastime. I love sitting and scoring a game. Like, get me like a little scorecard and a pen, and I will just sit there and score a game. I love it. It's very soothing to me. Anywho, we used to go all the time. I still have not been to our new stadium because like I got busy. We moved, and so I was like, he keeps saying, like, you need to get to the new stadium. You need to get to the new stadium. I'm like, yeah. And I just never have. So for Christmas, they didn't have single game like tickets on sale yet, but I was like, we'll pick a weekend. I will come down. We will go to a game. My treat. I will buy. So it made sense to go down this weekend because it was my birthday. It was the orange and blue game. And then lo and behold, who knew we were going to win a national championship that week too? But we did. So it worked out really well. Anywho, so Friday night, me and my dad, my mom's like off at my nephew's Little League game. My dad picks me up. We go eat like one of my favorite Asian fusion restaurants from back home. We're having a swell time. And I texted him because I got to McClenny. I look at the skies and I was like, shit, McClenny is an hour away from Gainesville. Let me pull up the weather. I pull up the weather and I go, not looking good for basically first pitch. Like, I think we're going to get a weather delay. And mind you, my dad and I have like some glorious weather delay stories. Like the amount of times during regionals, because regionals is usually held in June. So of course, June in Florida, it's always thunderstorming.
Always.
We have waited in insane weather delays, like 3 hours for like our super regional game, like insane weather delays. The two of us, like, we have the worst luck for this. So I was like, Dad, look at the radar. Like, I think a storm is coming. It looks like it might rain at first pitch because the game was supposed to start at 6:30. He's like, I'm looking at the radar. I don't see anything. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I'm in McClenny right now. And I'm telling you, these skies are gray. So anywho, we get into town, we eat dinner. The wind is picking up. I look at my weather app. We are under a hail alert. Like, it's going to severe thunderstorm. It's going to hail. And I go, Dad, I don't think this game's starting on time. So I look, and before the game even started, they delayed it. And so he's like, well, let's just get to the stadium because it's covered and we'll want to be under the cover if it starts raining. We don't want to have to walk in that, blah, blah. So we're hustling. Like, the wind is brewing. We're hustling on into the stadium and it just downpours. Okay. We didn't see any hail, but it did hail in Gainesville. I know because like people are reporting it like a few, like basically minutes down the road. Anywho, it rains, it hails, it whatever. It stops. It's delightful. We do a little tour of the stadium now that it's not raining. Mind you, this entire time they're playing the rain playlist basically. So it's a bunch of different songs about rain and, or storms or whatever. So anywho, we do that. And then we're like looking at the radar and we're like, okay. Like, and of course the rule of sports is like the lightning has to be within 10 miles, but like 30 minutes. We're like, great. We have to wait 30 minutes for lightning. Then they're going to take off the tarp from the field. Then so like, we're looking at another hour till this game actually starts. Then we're looking at the radar. Another band is coming through. You've got to be effing kidding me. And we're like, no. So all this to say, we sat at the baseball stadium for 2 hours, listened to a playlist that had no repeats. I want to know how long this playlist goes on for. How many songs are there about rain?
Some of those songs didn't used to exist, though. We evolve as a culture.
Yeah, I was like, I'm truly impressed. We've not heard a single repeat. And it took almost 2 hours to get to Purple Rain. Shocked.
I was about to ask. Yeah, that was the first thing.
It was on
my head.
Have you ever seen The Rain to Lead?
It was early on. It was early on. The VCR did come on early. So
I have a question about one too. So
this playlist, and we basically are looking at the radar and we're like, this game is not happening. So we left, and sure enough, I think because it took us about 30 minutes to get home, like when we got home, they called it and they're like, game's postponed. Not happening tonight.
So did they play Jump, Jive, and Wail?
Nothing.
Baby, looks like it's gonna hail.
They should have. Did they play? No, I don't think they played. No, I don't recall that.
Did they
First
play?
time I heard that song was during a rain delay.
Yeah, at a sporting event.
Yeah, one of my brother's high school baseball games. We went back to the car, and then like it started hailing, and it started playing on the radio like soon afterwards. It's the first time any of us.
No, I don't think that was played. Maybe if we would have stayed longer, I would have heard it. Maybe that was like hour 3 of the playlist. Rain. Ironic was also not played.
did they play When the Rain Begins to Fall? And I don't actually know who sings that song, but a band that Jermaine Jackson. I don't.
Jermaine Jackson,
like of
probably
Yeah.
Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, of the
yeah,
Jackson
I think
Five?
so. So it's a song
Jermaine
from
is one
him,
of them, yeah.
but a metal band that I like covers it on one of their albums, and so like I only know the cover. I don't know. I'm gonna listen.
So
to it
this sounds
after.
familiar. What band did it?
What band did it
Oh,
come?
what band? Heavenly. They're a very obscure German
Yeah.
power band, power metal
Did they
band.
play Raining Blood?
Oh yeah,
Raining
Rain.
Blood, no.
Slayer.
To my knowledge. There was a lot of rain, storm. There was a Paramore song, and I knew it, but now I can't think of what Paramore song mentions like raining or storming.
Now, but speaking of bass, I wanted to bring up a nice story I had from work. Actually, it was last night. Actually,
It's Raining Men did play.
yes.
Very
nice story I actually had from work. So everybody knows we're in Savannah now. Savannah bananas are, one of the biggest things in our area.
Covered on 60 Minutes.
Yeah,
Hey,
covered
now.
on 60 Minutes this past weekend.
And
And
made me
also
cry.
inaugurated Sports Center yesterday, or Monday. But anyway, they are going to be expanding in the summer so that they can have multiple teams playing in multiple cities at the same time. So they have a team that's returning from last year called the Firefighters. There's a team called the Visitors that they will use just at their home games mostly. And then there's a new team called the Texas Tailgaters that are all joining the foray. And last night, I had several of the firefighters and the tailgaters come into my job. My job gives them all discounts on pizzas and Miller Lights. So they come pretty frequently because it's not that far from the stadium. And I was just listening to the players who were there last year talking to the new players that were like the rookies coming in, and just the enthusiasm they had. And one of them, like one of the stories I overheard, I'm running back and forth, bringing them their food and everything. One of them's like, we got to play Wrigley Field last year, and I hit the farthest ball I ever hit in my career, and it was the nicest. It was the best moment of my life. I'm like listening to something like that. You're
that's
hearing
so cool.
just the love of
That
baseball.
makes me want to cry.
Like all these kids, and probably the oldest one of them maybe is 23, 24, and these teams are primarily being brought in for the road games, and they're going to play several of these major league stadiums, and ESPN is actually going to broadcast 10 of the games. I don't know if both of you saw that or not.
That's awesome.
ESPN is actually going to outright broadcast 10 Savannah Banana games, and these kids are now, these particular ones who I met last night, several of them have not yet played in front of an audience. They're learning, like they're basically in their like boot camp, more or less, is what you would describe it, because the Savannah Bananas is more than just playing baseball. They have to learn how to entertain the crowd and everything.
Right.
And just listening to the two or three players who had done it before, just like sharing their stories of them, and the other players just getting so excited. I'm like, you're getting me pumped up right now. Like, and I'm at work,
So the 60 Minutes segment, by the way, you guys did not tell me that they have an awesome children's charity, and it's called Bananas Foster.
Bananas
Yeah,
Foster.
isn't that fantastic? First of all,
true.
great pun. Second of all, we love philanthropy. We love a good movement.
Dude, it's literally like
Yeah.
if Walt Disney wasn't evil, or like if Willy Wonka wasn't evil.
Yeah, that's true.
That seems to be what Jesse Cole is. Like, he seems to really.
He has a book, I think.
He does.
Yeah, there's like a book. When you go into any like bookstore here, it's like available.
I think it's called Fans First, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I will say they definitely. I mean, I was already a fan, but they definitely won me over when they screwed up the lottery this year. And first they came out and was like, hey, our bad. We screwed up. We want to be transparent with you and say how bad we know our whole thing is fans first. And we did not put the fans first in the situation accidentally. Of course, it was a glitch in the system, but still. And he basically was like, this is my personal email. Come yell at me if you want. Like, that's totally fine. And then the next day we got the email about the free tickets to
Other
cities that
cities,
weren't
yeah.
sold out, which obviously I know is not like a lot of people were like, well, I can't, which I understand. Like not everyone can travel. Not everyone, again, a lot of the Southeast was already, because those like games were earlier in the season, they had already been sold. So a lot of people were like, well, I don't live anywhere close to any of these places. And that is unfortunate. But I do think like all things considered with the cards they were dealt, that they handled it really well. I'm fortunate in that I have family that lives in Denver. I wanted to go see them anyways. And I was like, well, this is a good excuse. I'll use my free Bananas tickets. And then I get to go see, like where the Rockies play, which is
She's
a really
going
cool
to Coors
stadium.
Field
I get
to see
go
the
Coors
Bananas.
Oh, that's
Field.
awesome.
Like, that's a really cool
Right.
experience.
Okay, but can the Bananas play the Rockies?
Can they play the Rockies?
Yeah.
I can
Probably
maybe.
take them. Okay, so Coors is obviously is more than just a field. If you're
Yeah.
unaware, Coors is also a chapstick.
Yeah,
yep.
they are, baby.
Very good chapstick. Although this one, it stopped, like the thing stopped, so I had to switch to a different one. So not great. Better than the Peabody's pizza box, but still not
Yeah,
the
well.
greatest product. But a very tasty chapstick.
Yeah.
Tastier than
I
pizza?
do eat it.
Quality chopstick. I'm so sad that it doesn't taste like Coors Banquet, though. You know what I mean? All I know
Yeah.
is I think like my favorite thing about Bananas Ball is I never have to see Paul Skeens.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that. You're a jabroni. Go ahead.
We love you.
Paul Skeens? We don't love him?